Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to save hundreds of dollars detailing your car or as a professional detailer detailing other people's car. We're going to be doing this with just one product. This category of product is rinseless wash. Now, for me, rinseless wash is one of the most versatile products that I've ever used. I've been using it for something like 5 years, maybe 6 at this point. And over the past 5, 6 years, I've come to realize that it actually replaces so many of the standard products that I've been keeping and buying. So I'm going to be showing you guys what I've learned with rinseless wash over the last years to help you guys save money and to be more efficient and more effective when detailing your car or a client's car. Now, the product today we're going to be using is DIY Detail Rinseless Wash version 2. It's a polymer and a surfactant based rinseless wash. Something like Optimum No Rinse is a polymer base. Absolute from P&S is a polymer base. This one is a sort of a hybrid. It's polymer and surfactant. Because of its chemical properties, you can actually put it in a foam gun and foam it over the car, or you can put it in a pump foamer and foam it over the car. Surfactants are typically more cleaning heavy and polymers are typically more lubricating. So when you mix the two together, you kind of get a really nice marriage. So that's why I've been using this product recently, and I've been loving it ever since. So I'm going to be telling you exactly what you can use it for and what product it replaces. I'll even show you a demonstration. Today we're going to be focusing just on the exterior. Before we begin, let me just say that this one, for every single use case, the dilution ratio is 256 to 1. Now, if you look at other products, they might say 128 to 1, 64 to 1, 32 to 1, whatever, for some of these cases. But this particular product, it's going to be the exact same dilution ratio for every single thing that we do. So that's why I like this product. Just keeps it very simple. You can have one spray bottle that has the same dilution ratio, and it could be for every single use case. That's why I like it. Let's get right into it. So the first one, of course, is as a rinseless wash. Just replacing soap. So you don't need to buy car soap. You can just use rinseless wash. If you have it, you put it in your bucket, wash the car just like you regularly would. You do whatever steps that you typically do when you wash a car, just instead of car soap, you use rinseless wash. So every single way that you would use car soap, you can use rinseless wash. You hose down your car, have it in your bucket and put it over the surface. You can rinse it off just exactly like you would use car soap, except this one is the rinseless. Pretty straightforward, very simple. For the second product that this would replace would be a pre-treat. So a snow foam, alkaline cleaner, whatever you would use to put on the car to break down the dirt before you do your initial contact wash, this would be the product. Rinseless wash, it emulsifies, encapsulates dirt, it breaks it down, it lifts it off the surface, and then you go in with your pressure washer or your garden hose and you rinse it off the surface after giving it a few minutes to interact with the dirt. It works really, really well. It's not a pH of 14, so it's not going to behave the same way as a super clean degreaser or something like that. It's really, everything that we're going to be doing is for more or less a maintenance style cleaning, because it is just a jack of all trades, but a master of none, except for rinseless wash, like in the case where you're washing your car. So it does things very, very well, just not to the highest degree. That's why you have your specialized products. But if you take care of your car regularly, you don't need to spend $100 on a snow foam. You really don't. So like I said, you put it on your car, you could put it in a foam gun, or you could just put it in a spray bottle. You spray your car down, give it a few minutes, and then you rinse it off. You're ready for your contact wash. Pretty simple. It works really, really well. And like I said, this foams too. So if you're a fan of foam, then you could do that. Put like a few ounces in your foam gun, fill the rest with water, turn on your pressure washer and go to town. It works really well. The third thing is a detailer, a quick detailer. So let's say you finish the detail and you realize you kind of put your hand on the paint, you see a little fingerprint smudges or a little bit of dust. You can use this as your detailer. This will easily wipe away anything that a quick detailer will wipe away. It's extremely lubricating and it's not going to leave anything behind. Because of the surfactant, it leaves a very clean surface behind. You're not going to risk marring the surface. Obviously don't do it on a dirty car. You want to wash the car first. A quick detailer is not something that replaces a traditional car wash. But for those little smudges that you see here and there, You can definitely use this as your quick detailer. It's going to work 100% of the time, just as a quick detailer would. And you just saved yourself another gallon of quick detailer. For the fourth thing, clay lube. There's not too many products out there that are clay lubes. Typically, you could do it with your car soap or your rinseless, but there are a few out there. I've never used a dedicated clay lubricant before. I've always just either used the soap or the rinseless that was on the surface. Now, like I said, this one, 256 to 1. It doesn't need to be 64 to 1. The manufacturer decided that 256 to 1 after their testing was good enough for the job. I can attest that it works really, really well. I do my maintenance, clays, or my in-depth decontamination with this product, and it works every single time. I don't leave marring on the surface any more than I would if I was using a traditional clay lube. Sort of a waste of money. I've never bought one. I've never seen the need to buy one. Now, for people who are washing cars outside in the sun and you want to use your traditional soap, which is totally fine, you're going to encounter the issue of water drying on you and the potential for minerals to dig into the clear or, water spots. Let's just call it water spots, mineral deposits, whatever. Now that happens because there's not just H2O, there's a lot of content in water. The only way you get by this is if you have a water deionizer, water softening system on your house or something like that. But those tanks cost hundreds of dollars and they have to get refilled constantly. So for people on the budget end, you don't have to buy these expensive tanks. When you're finished your wash, you can simply spray over the car a light mist of rinseless wash, something that has polymers in it that actually does water softening. You can be assured that the water is not going to cause damage to the paint and all the materials around the car. The polymers inside the rinseless wash will interact with the minerals in the water, and they will in fact encapsulate just like it would dirt or anything else when cleaning. So like I said, you finish your wash, you rinse the soap off, you're in the blazing sun. Before you get into your drying stage, spray rinseless wash around the car and get to drying. Now this leads me to my next one. Number 6, drying aid. Even if you're not in the sun and you're just doing a wash inside, or it's winter and you're in a garage or whatever, and there's just water on the surface, as we know, water is not a lubricant, it's a solvent. It doesn't help the towel glide over the surface, especially if there's no protection on the car. If you spray a little bit of rinseless wash in your towel and on the paint, your drying time will be cut in half. Not only does it help absorb the water, but it actually lubricates the surface. So when you put your towel over, you're not going to risk towel marring or love marks on the surface. Some people like to really dig in and they miss a little spot and they kind of go a little bit rough with it. Well, the rinseless wash is going to lubricate and it's going to help clean in case you missed anything on the surface. So for washes where I'm not adding a drying aid that's, a protection-based drying aid like bead maker or quick wax or whatever, I'll be using rinseless wash on the surface to dry the car. Anti-marring helps the absorption and cuts the time in half. Now this one's a little bit controversial. It's cleaning your wheels and tires with the rinseless wash. The only way this works is if you don't have a solvent-based tire dressing, something that's like a silicone or whatever, like the typical Armor All that you see in stores, that really gummy stuff that you put. The rinseless wash is really not going to break that down enough to the point where you're going to be removing all of it from the tire. But if you're using a water-based dressing and you're doing a weekly or let's say bi-weekly detail on your car or your client's car, you can 100% use rinseless wash as your wheel and tire cleaner. You do the same method, you spray it on the surface, you give it a moment, you rinse it off, and then you spray it on again. And then you could use either a hard bristle brush for the tire, or you could use a microfiber and just kind of lightly clean the surface. You're going to see the towel is going to be black or brown. That's going to be the browning from the tire, and it's going to be the old tire dressing that's coming off. For the wheel, you can use your dedicated wheel brushes or your wash mitts or your microfiber towels or whatever. What's on the car is the same thing that's on the wheels. Just the wheels, it's right next to the brake discs and the pads and all that. So they're going to get a higher level of brake dust. But that's not to say that rinseless wash can't take care of that, because there's brake dust on the car. So when they formulated rinseless wash, they know that they're going to have environmental contaminants, you're going to have road grime, they're going to have traffic film, they're going to have brake dust on the car, and so on and so forth. So they formulated it to take care of these things. The wheel is just a little bit more concentrated brake dust. So you don't need to buy a dedicated wheel and tire cleaner. A pro tip would be, like I said, use a water-based tire dressing, something that lasts a week or two, and then every time or every other time you clean your wheels, use a spray wax, something to protect the wheels. Makes it so that when you spray your rinseless wash on the wheels, they're actually going to be beating the water and the dirt off the surface. So when you rinse and when you go to make your contact wash on the wheels, it's going to come off 10 times easier. There's going to be a lesser chance for marring the wheels, especially if they're gloss black. This leads me to my next point, which is after the detail. Let's say you're going to be doing some paint correction. Rinseless wash is an incredible pad cleaner. Now, what I used to use is my compressed air. I would take it, blow it into the pad. There's two reasons why I don't like that. Number one, you could, if it's a lower quality pad or more of a used pad, you could be deteriorating your pad at a quicker rate with the compressed air. It's extremely strong, 100 pounds per square inch. You know, it's very, very strong. And so I've had cases where I was using a foam pad and I was cleaning it after, you know, every panel. And I was getting this powdered foam sort of everywhere over the car because it was just deteriorating. Now, that's not going to be the case for every single time, but it goes to show that it's maybe not always the best way to do it. A Tornador is a little bit gentler because it sort of spreads the focus a little bit everywhere. It's not so concentrated. But the second point is that it gets really, really dusty. If you're using a product that dusts a lot, like Meguiar's M105, for instance, that one is extremely dusting, you're going to get a lot of powdered compound everywhere. Someone mentioned to me on Instagram that they actually have a little contraption that has a fan and a filter over it. So they turn that on, then they blast the pad with the air compressor, and it just sucks up all of that powdered compound, all that dry used up compound. Remember, it's not just compound, it's also clear coat. You don't really want to be breathing it in. So unless you have that sort of solution, it's not the best way to go about it, especially if you're in a closed environment like we are here. So I use a pad washer. These are kind of pricey and you can make them DIY at home, but I just chose the easier route and I bought the pad washer. There are dedicated products and powders that you can put in the solution that when you go and you press the pad into the pad washer and it sprays the solution up, sure, but that's just another product. So like we've already saved, what, 6 or 7 products right now. And so, all right, for the last thing, if you're not using the pad cleaner with the rinseless wash and you're just using your air compressor, which is totally fine, just watch out for your lungs, then use the rinseless wash as the pad dampener. So have your 256-to-1 in a spray bottle and turn on the machine, give it a little spritz, and you're going to have a nice fine atomization of the rinseless over the entirety of the surface. You put your 4 or 5 compound dots on the pad, you put it on the surface of the car, and then you go to town. The rinseless is going to act as a spreading agent that's going to help spread the compounds. It's not just going to stay stuck in one spot on the pad, and it's going to keep the temperatures down, and it's going to help to lubricate the surface. You're not trying to drag the pad across. You're trying to use the abrasives in the compound to polish the surface, right? And you don't need to swell up the paint with heat. So the rinseless is going to help to reduce the heat on the surface, which is going to make for a more even cut. And, you know, when you're finished polishing, the surface isn't going to change because the swelling is going to go away. It's going to reveal, you know, all that stuff. So there you go. Pad dampening. It's really simple. If you already have a spray bottle, then you could use it and try it the next time that you polish a car. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. So those are my tips. And this is really just for the outside of the car. The next video is going to be for the inside of your car. I love testing new products. I love new wheel cleaners. I love new foaming soaps and all that. They're just very expensive. And sure, it makes for a nice Instagram reel or YouTube short or whatever. People love to see the foam. They love to see the tiny brushes and all that. But are we trying to spend 3 hours cleaning one wheel for a nice Instagram reel? Or are we just trying to clean the car and just get on with the day and enjoy the rest of the day? So with rinseless, you could save time, you could save money, and you could enjoy the day. For a lot of things, Rinseless Wash, like I said, it's a jack of all trades, a master of none. It's going to do pretty much everything you need. But if you need a really high alkaline cleaner for whatever you're doing, then use your alkaline cleaner. But if this is a maintenance detail, then this is going to come in perfect. Even if it's not maintenance, it just takes a little bit more time. But ideally, the goal is to maintain your car, just keep it clean year round. And you'll never have to spend 4 hours cleaning the inside. If once a month you spend 1 hour cleaning the inside of your car, you'll never have to spend the whole day cleaning it, or the outside of your car for that matter. If you never let the salt accumulate, then it's never going to be an issue. So if you've ever used any of these tips that I've shown you today, then let me know. And if I've missed anything that you guys have done, then let me know in the comments, because I want to learn. I love Rinseless Wash. As you guys know, I use it every single time I detail a car in one way or another. I'll either add it to my soap bucket or I'll use Rinseless just to clean the car. When you're stuck at home and you can't go out and you're in the garage and you just want to clean your car, you don't need a whole setup. You just need Rinseless Wash and a hose. So it makes things a whole lot simpler. And that's not to say that the quality of it's going to be reduced, because just because you buy an expensive soap doesn't mean that the detail is going to turn out 10 times better if it's 10 times more expensive soap. So there's a trade-off. Anyway, if you like this video and it was informative, hit that like button. If you want to keep seeing more of these informative videos, then hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Like that, you'll get notified every time I post a video. The next video is going to be how to use Rinseless on the inside of your car. And rest assured, this will replace basically 95% of the products you would use on the inside of your car. There are certain scenarios where it won't work, and you'll need something that's a little bit different natured, but this will do pretty much everything you need it to do from the get-go. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I love making these videos. I'll continue to do so. So I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one. Take care.